Hello again, geeks and gamers. Yes, I'm doing another video. Can you believe it? I'm lousy with the videos up in here. All right, today, or this time, what I'm going to talk about is a game that I really only got interested in because I saw it on Paizo's website. Paizo is a company that makes Pathfinder role-playing game, which is probably the game I play more than any other right now. And it just looked gorgeous, and I wanted to try it out. So when I went to Gen Con last year, I saw it sitting there on the shelf, and I went, I'm going to buy it. I can't go home without this game. I want to buy it. It looks so awesome. And that game is called Kill Dr. Lucky. As you can see just by looking at the box, it looks gorgeous. It's a great looking game, which is interesting considering the fact that this was originally a game that was put out by a company called Cheap Ass Games. Cheap Ass Games is called that because they make cheap-ass games. Their production quality is subpar. The boards are usually things like paper. They have some rules, and then they tell you to use bottle caps or what candy or something for the pieces. So usually it's the cheapest possible game that they can produce while still getting the game out there. Not to say they're not good games. They're just not great production quality. Which is okay if you're okay with that. But Paizo sort of picked it up and gave it tremendous production quality. Here, I'm going to show you the board. I mean, check out this board. Look at those colors. Look at the art that was done on this board and how amazing it looks. But the gameplay with this game is pretty simple. You've got, of course, Dr. Lucky. This is his mansion. If you've ever played Clue, this is going to be along those lines. I like to call it Clue on steroids, because that's kind of what it is. It's sort of a Clue prequel, too, because you're not trying to find out who killed someone. You're trying to kill Dr. Lucky. You will be playing one of these characters. That's my favorite one, the chef. And you go throughout the mansion trying to get in the same room with him so that you can kill him. There is, yeah, do you like my little bag for my little pieces? No, the game does not come with these, unfortunately, but I get these at my little friendly local gaming store. They're like 25 to 50 cents for these little tiny cloth bags. They're great for board game components. If you know somebody that sews, maybe you can get someone to make some of them for you. But one of the keys with this game that I was starting to get at is you can't murder Dr. Lucky if anybody can see you, because then you're going to get caught. So, let's say, for example, I was with Dr. Lucky here in the parlor, and I wanted to try to kill him. Well, this person over here in the trophy room, his maid, can see him, because you see there's doorways here on the map, and so no matter where I am in the room, I can be over here in the corner, but as long as there's a doorway that connects rooms together, there's a straight shot, then I can see them, and he can't attempt to be murdered, or I can't attempt to murder Dr. Lucky because the maid can see me. Now, if you'll look here, this is probably not the best example. Let's use this room for example. There's a door here, here, and here. Now, if I were here in the hallway, I can't see Dr. Lucky because yes, there's a door here and here, but they're not across from each other. There's a wall right there, so that doesn't count, even if I, was way over here. So the whole idea is to get in a room with Dr. Lucky where nobody else can see you, and then you can attempt to murder him. The way this happens is you have 4 different types of cards. You have a location card. It has the name of a location on it, on the top of it. You can play this card to move either yourself or Dr. Lucky to that location. Now this is the Winter Garden, which is way over here in the corner. You can just sort of barely see it. It's right there. But you can do that. You can use a move card, which again you can move yourself or Dr. Lucky, the number of moves listed on the card. And then you also have a murder card, which has a murder value. In this case, it's the billiard cue, which has a murder value of 2. Now, if you go up here to the billiard room, which you can't see on the board, then the pool cue goes from being a murder value of 2 to a murder value of 5. Most of the murder cards work that way. Now, each turn, you can do 2 things. You get 1 free move, so you can move 1 space, and then you can use either a location or a move card. So I could have moved my 1 space to go into the dining hall, and then I could have used this move card to move Dr. Lucky into the dining hall with me. Now we're in the same room, nobody can see us, so now I can play a murder card. Now it's up to everyone else at the table to then play the final type of card, and that's a failure card, which also has a value. Everyone else at the table has to play failure cards equal to whatever my murder value is to prevent me from murdering Dr. Lucky so that they can try it later. If they succeed, I get what's called a spite token. This is worth +1 murder value the next time I attempt to kill Dr. Lucky. So that's pretty much the game. You continue around the board, earning spite tokens, attempting to kill him as often as possible, until you actually get to the point where your murder value exceeds what the other players can put down in failure cards, and you win the game. One of the great options for this game is some of the flavor text. For example, it says here, an allergy to dust mites gets the better of you, and Dr. Lucky gets away. A lot of the failure cards have things like that. One of my favorites is, that apparently Dr. Lucky is actually a secret kung fu master, and he kind of kicks your ass at one point on one of the failure cards. There's a couple other ones that are very funny. Slip on a banana peel, things like that. But this is a really kind of an interesting game. It's not heavy. It's not very strategic. It is definitely along the lines of just a fun game. But it does have its moments. It does, like I say, have great production value. Colors are amazing. The design is great. It just looks very pretty. It's a gorgeous game. But it is fun. I do enjoy it. Do enjoy playing it. I don't get to play it quite as much as I would like to, because I think because it doesn't have the strategic value of something like a Dominion or even Seven Wonders, something like that. Lords of Vegas. It doesn't have that same sort of strategic element that a lot of people sort of shy away from it for that reason. But I enjoy it. I think it's a fun sort of relief game. It's not something I play a ton. Even if I did have a lot of people that did want to play it with me, I don't think I'd play it that often. Just because it's not a fabulous game or anything. It is fun. It is an enjoyable game. It's great. I like it, so I think you should check it out. Again, that's Kill Dr. Lucky. Again, this version that looks like this is produced by Paizo, but you can probably get other versions out there if you really look hard enough. Maybe you can find that cheap-ass game version, but the Paizo version is gorgeous, and that's one of the biggest selling points for me. I believe it was in the range of about $30, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not too expensive. One of my favorite parts about this game is not only do you have the basic game with just Dr. Lucky where you're attempting to kill him, but in the rule book that comes with the game, inside there you will have a couple of variant games you can play, which introduce Dr. Lucky's dog, where you can, and yes, I'm sorry for all you animal lovers out there, but one of the objects in the variants is to kill Dr. Lucky's dog. Poor puppy, right? But it makes the game a little bit more interesting if you add in one or two or both of those variants to kill Dr. Lucky's dog. There are no expansions for this game that I know of, but there are sort of follow-ups. There's Save Dr. Lucky is out there, and I believe there's a third one that I cannot remember the name of it at this moment. But maybe they'll come up with expansions. Maybe you might like one of the other versions better. But I think you should check it out. It's definitely well worth the money for the game. So, there you go. Kill Dr. Lucky. See you next time.